Hello, and thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and ITY TV podcast interview. It's time to welcome Sol Enchantress back to ITY TV, a globally sought after thought leader, author, and keynote speaker whose latest book we spoke about recently is called You Plus AI, a match made in cyber heaven for visionary, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Hello, Sol.
Hello, Alex. Thank you so much for having me back.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Now, Sol, your latest AI-related media release looks at how the Australian state of Victoria's state government is looking at fast-tracking the AI revolution. Now, despite the fact that government actions often have the opposite effect that was intended, let's just briefly look at what this legislation has planned, which I believe is something to do with the fact that they want to legislate that workers in industries where they can work from home will be employers will be forced to get people to work 2 days from home and not the 5 days that we expect in an office.
And so in essence, the 7-day week, where 5 days, is the work week and 2 days is the stay at home weekend, will in essence, it will be a 3-day work week and 4-day holiday, which, it's not a holiday. They're supposed to work from home. But the whole point of it is that, as when we've spoken about before, even during the pandemics and things during lockdowns, where they did that, the workforce was always meant to kind of go back into work. And so this whole work from home thing is great. And there are so many positives to it. But at the end of the day, the conversation we're having today is about looking at it from the perspective of the business owners, the entrepreneurs, and the business leaders. So, business is the lifeblood of any country and any community. So how is all of this, it's helping the workforce, but how is it impacting business? And without business, a country is disabled, so to speak. So that's the way we're looking at it. So instead of, I think with everything, so far, everything's been looked at from the viewpoint of how it helps the employee, how it helps team members, how it helps the worker. But let's flip it and take a look at it from the business leader's perspective, the entrepreneur's perspective. How is that impacting their business? And what thought processes and ideas and what strategies are they looking to implement?
Absolutely. And there has been concern from business leaders that the productivity that is there from people being in physical contact and sharing ideas spontaneously, it just can't be replicated online. In fact, if you're going to have somebody on a screen, how long is it going to be before you have a super intelligent AI that you can just ask the questions of and get it to do these mundane sort of lower level tasks? In fact, just in the last week, we had ChatGPT launch GPT-5, and just as with Google and others, this whole rest of this 2025 is all going to be about agentic AI, which in a nutshell means that you can get your AI to do things for you. And if it can do things for you, then you don't need personal assistance. There's some classes of workers you don't need. So this whole AI revolution is really coming down on us fast, and it's going to be both disruptive and helpful at the same time.
Yes. So a couple of things I'd like to touch on just, for anyone listening who is on the employee side of things. So they are the worker. One of the things also is that very few people, even business owners, they struggle. One of the things they struggle is to actually self-motivate themselves. Okay. So, I'm kind of a unicorn in that, which, I am just amazingly motivated and it comes from within me. So, being by myself is like, just the absolute, epitome of everything for me.
It's a joy because you're not distracted.
It is a joy. No, but it's very few people can actually do that. So from an employee perspective, very few people are actually motivated enough to do the amount of work or do not so much the hours or the even the amount of work. It's the effectiveness and the productivity goes down because when they're at home, they are distracted by other things because it's a home environment, and they are going to be, let me go and get a snack. Let me put the laundry on. Let me, if they have little kids at home, let me do this. And so their productivity is not the same as if they were in the office where they are in a work environment. That's one. Number two is they're also melding home time and work time. And that, in a way, for those who can't motivate themselves to assign that differentiation, that's not such a great thing for your life. And the third, and like one of the biggest things, is it's not just about work, it's about a sense of purpose. And people need to have a sense of purpose. That is a huge contributor to anxiety, depression, and all of this. So all this mental stuff that that is they're trying to alleviate by giving people time at home, it actually could backfire, because purposeless life is actually the worst thing possible for any mental state.
Absolutely. And look, I mean, one of the ways I can sum up your first point is that what people can lack, especially when they're not being held accountable in an office environment, is discipline. Because that's what it comes down to. If you have discipline, then
Exactly.
sure, you can work from home, you can be trusted to get the job done. But in a world where people sell or buy online these mouse jigglers that have a little spinning disc inside of a little box, you put the mouse on top and it simulates the mouse movement whilst you go off and do something else, binge on your favorite show. I mean, that is just basically cheating the system. And of course, no employer wants that. People don't want, as an employer, the minimum effort, because that doesn't really,
No.
I mean, again, why not just get a robot for that?
Well, that is a perfect segue into one of the main points that I make about AI and replacing human beings. And I speak about this in my speaking engagements. I speak about this in, whenever I am creating social media content, or even in my book. And that is exactly that, the mouse jiggling thing. The AI is not going to replace human beings per se. However, it will force workers and employees to be really conscientious and productive. And actually, this is what I say. Even although AI will not inherently replace jobs, AI will force the workforce to be proficient, conscientious, and productive. And because in the world of AI, the modern entrepreneur can run a business that is cost effective, productive, and profitable using AI solutions instead of human staff. So they can circumvent the staffing shortages, no problem. And that is the danger that, governments who meddle with forcing entrepreneurs and businesses to, have specific rules about if their employees can come in or not, and the workforce that thinks, oh, well, this is another 2 days for me that I can relax. And there's nothing wrong with any of that, because like the ethos of my work is to actually create a beautiful life while you relax and rejuvenate. But still, you need to create value in the world, and that's what you get paid for. And that's the whole point of business. In business, and the business owners understand this, if you don't create value in the world, then that product or service that you have is of no use, and it doesn't generate money. So the same goes for the staff. The staff is not needed to do the stuff. They are adding value to that product or service. That's why they're there. So if something else can take their place, why not?
It's going to happen. I mean, as we mentioned the last time we spoke, it's not that AI is going to take your job. It's somebody who's using AI to really turbocharge what they do and use it properly who's going to take your job, because they'll be able to do the work of 2 or 3 people, because they're just so turbocharged, or they've got superpowers with AI. They can augment their whatever systems they use. And do things in an even faster and more efficient way. A friend of mine runs his business entirely on his phone. He can be almost anywhere in the world, responding to emails, looking at various systems. Yeah, and
Me too. I can do
he doesn't even have to do it with his computer. And then the other thing is that government actions and these edicts from upon high can have the opposite result. An example of this is in California, where the government raised the minimum wage to such a degree that employers decided, well, look, if we need to pay all this extra money to people, which we don't have to pay in other states, then let's have a look at putting in self-ordering kiosks. So an example is fast food outlets. Often they've been run by children. The businesses have the younger teenagers there because they're cheaper to hire than young adults, and usually that can be more conscientious. But now, if you go to any fast food outlet, many of them, most of them, you actually see those screens where people can order themselves. And in some of the restaurants, it's like a dark restaurant. I mean, they just have an order thing. You pick up the order and you go. You never see a human at all. So this is what happens when governments try to make things happen before they're supposed to. And this could be something that AI really blossoms in a big way to eliminate these drudge jobs and save employers a lot of money who'll be spending that money on AI systems that never get sick, never take time off, never complain, and do a flawless job.
That's what I always say. Yeah, exactly. And also, you're not going to have a bad customer experience, are you? So your customer complaints are going to go down, and your clients are going to be happier. And if your clients are happier, that impacts the bottom line. And also, the skill set is going to be way more
advanced and creative.
Not so much advanced, but the skill set is going to be more stable. So, for example, let's take a restaurant. If the chefs decide to go on strike and don't want to do the work, if you actually have a AI robot that is cooking the food and all the recipes have been input into them, they're going to make that dish 100% accurate every single time. There's no burning the food. So there's no wastage of food. There's no clients complaining, oh, my food's not done properly. It's going to be perfect every single time. And the client experience is going to be great because, say, the serving staff don't want to do the work, which is, what's going to happen if it's a very transient staffing industry anyway, the restaurant industry. So if they can't find serving staff, if you have robots who are courteous and kind and wonderful and efficient taking your orders, they're not having a bad day. So you're actually going to have a great experience. They're never going to get your order wrong, and they're always going to turn up to work on time. I mean, from an entrepreneur's perspective, like seriously, it is, to me, it's an amazing time to be alive because you can actually create businesses and run businesses with maximum efficiency, productivity, scalability, and profitability without having the human nuances that make it a challenge. See, like trying to manage the human emotions and all of that. You don't have all of that. You have the beautiful experience for the client. You have the back end experience of dealing with the staff and having the office politics. That's missing. So I mean, there's a lot of positivity to it, and I know people are afraid of getting replaced by AI, and they should be if they keep pushing it this way, is what I'm saying. If you're not good at what you do, if you're amazing at what you do, you will never be replaced.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. I mean, we've already seen delivery robots not just in restaurants, but going down the streets of San Francisco, with a little robot that is on wheels. But in restaurants, there are some restaurants that actually have a little robot where the food is put into the tray and then the robot comes out and you take the food yourself out of the tray. We already have those self-ordering systems with the QR code, but I've been to restaurants where they have the little iPad at the end of the table and you just order yourself whatever you want. And then I have seen, and this is several years ago, but also just at the recent Consumer Electronics Show, there's this pair of arms that is bolted to above a kitchen cooktop, and all of the different ingredients are there, and the food is, as you say, made perfectly every time. I mean,
chef,
well, it's the robot chef, and it has been said that when computers played music, people would complain, yes, it was a flawless performance, but it didn't have that extra joie de vivre or the nuances the soul that a human can do. But these days, AI can fake that soul. They can copy somebody else's soul, and really, you can't tell if the music is made by an AI or not. So this is, I mean, people are not really cognizant of how much the world is going to change by
Yes.
2030.
Yes.
We just had
Yes.
GPT-5 launch in the last, less than a week, the last 72 hours or something, and as we're recording. And I mean, it's not the huge game changer that has been predicted for GPT-5. It's not AGI just yet, as artificial general intelligence, but it is fully expected to be here by 2030. And between 2030 and 2040, artificial super intelligence is going to be here, and that's going to outthink, outwit, outplay, outlast humanity. It's going to win the survivor. So humans have to really stay on the ball and step up, and we're going to be called to do many more higher value, more creative things, as has happened, by the way. For the last couple of 100 years, nobody had to manufacture clothes, or cotton, because the looming machines did it. I mean, Americans have huge farming machines that, Paul Ehrlich in his book Future Shock predicted.
But also, it's a bit like the person who's breaking their back lifting heavy things, and then the industrial age, and then the forklift came, right? So then it just lifts and it's a breeze.
It's happened
and
time and again over the past couple of 100 years.
And then it's the same as the internet and everything else. I mean, I was just thinking the other day, because I was watching a movie that was old, and I was thinking, that's so interesting. Some of those things we can actually be doing now, but some of the things we do now could never be present then, because you couldn't have a business that would sell online, like a digital business like mine, because the internet didn't exist like, I don't know, 30 years ago or 40 years ago, whatever it is. And so the changes are there, but it's how you approach it, and just being an ostrich in the sand, kind of like hiding your head and saying, no, the workforce needs 4 days off, or 4 days working, 2 days off and 2 days working from home, which makes it a 3-day week. It's not conducive to business owners. It's not conducive to.
They always say that change is the only constant in the universe, and it's a bit like when there were people were warning Donald Trump, the storm is coming, and Donald Trump is said to have said, I am the storm. Well, change is inevitable. So if you don't actively and in a purposefully intentional way be the change and not fear the change, change is coming whatever happens. And you're going to get changed in a way that you won't like or appreciate unless you guide that change yourself, and you are the change. So you got to flip that on its head, and you got to embrace the change. Otherwise, the change will embrace you, and I don't know. It's just you won't like it. So this all ties beautifully into your new book, which we've spoken about, You Plus AI. So I mean, of course, I recommend people go to your website, soulenchantress.com, and have a look at the book and buy it for yourself. But what are some of the little snippets that you can give us where people can really take advantage of AI in the right way?
Sure. I mean, the book is for purpose-driven entrepreneurs. However, I've actually had just as many people who are not entrepreneurs who are buying the book, because the book speaks about, it's opening your mind and your heart to kind of looking at how you can incorporate AI into your life. So whether it's in marketing, whether it's in sales, whether it's in leading a team, whatever. So even though it's written for entrepreneurs, even the person who is, say, a marketing manager and is working for someone else can actually get a lot of value out of it. And so when it comes to AI, it's not a case of, being some kind of a master at it. So it's not like you need to be a computer expert or a tech expert. It's more understanding that no matter what you do, whether it involves you having to do something related to a computer, which pretty much everyone does, whether it's sending an email or not, really, I think the message from AI is more to really get good at what you do, to get really good at the work that you do, the value you provide to your employer, the value you provide to the world, the value you provide to your community. From a worker's perspective, that's the suggestion that I would like to let them know. And then from the entrepreneur's perspective, I mean, gosh, it's like I think for too long, entrepreneurs have been held to ransom by the workforce. And I think AI gives them that leverage to kind of get out from under that rock. So that is, I mean, AI is a hugely powerful tool that I cannot say enough about for entrepreneurs. But from the perspective of those that are not running businesses, because you need both types of people in the world, I would say get really, really good. Like start upskilling, start getting better at whatever it is that you do. And if you don't like what you do, then go and retrain yourself and become an expert at it. You really need to be good, because if you're not good, then you can be replaced, because there's nothing in, even now, but in a few years, there'll be nothing that cannot be replaced with AI.
And I mean,
from the perspective of an entrepreneur, like a solution.
Yeah. And interestingly, AI is something that can help you to learn AI. It can teach you about anything you want. It can be your tutor. I mean, obviously,
yes,
in this case, it's great
Exactly.
to have a guide like you've written where you actually use AI and you're telling or giving people examples and showing them how to use the tools from a human
help
perspective.
themselves.
Yeah, to help themselves.
My work is all about empowering you. I'm not asking, I'm not going to sit there by your shoulder and hold your hand. So it's empowering you. And then, everything that I offer to do with my work is to empower you to actually be a better person, to be a better entrepreneur, to be a better human being.
But what I'm also saying is that never before have we had a technology that can actually help us to learn how to use it better by simple conversation. I mean, it's quite incredible. I mean, again, and I would definitely check your book out and read through that, and that will give you like a much stronger foundation upon which to then explore AI further. But it's really like talking to another person, and whether you are an entrepreneur or a worker, you can ask it, well, how do I make my business better? How do I do my job better? And there are several AI tools that are being updated all the time, and you are not obliged to just use
Thousands.
one. You can, there's tens of thousands, but I mean the major chatbots, you can talk to them and really, and people are using them as therapists and for medical, for all that sort of stuff. I mean, they always come with the warnings, please go and seek advice of a professional. But long before AI, people were looking at Dr. Google. So technology, I always say, is our friend and not our Terminator-like enemy. But you must still make the effort to learn about it and use it intentionally and not in a haphazard way for the best result.
Agree. Absolutely.
Well, Sol, your website is soulenchantress.com.
Soulenchantress.com.
And you've got a couple of books, When Worlds Align, and this book, You Plus AI. And you must have a third one coming, a trilogy, right?
And yes, it is. It is coming out real soon, and it is absolutely amazing, and it goes really well with the other two, and that's how I've been guided to create it, so that an entrepreneur, especially entrepreneurs, but also if anyone's interested in my work, they can buy the 3 books, and it's like a foundation. The first one, When Worlds Align, it's the energetic foundation, and then it builds on that with the tech tools by when you read You Plus AI, and then the next one will actually explore the energetics of money. So it's an amazing trilogy, and it's something that I say, if it's the least thing, the smallest thing you do, give yourself a gift of the 3 books so that you can elevate your life and business to new and dazzling heights of success.
Wonderful. Well, they do say that good things come in threes, and good things must also, at this point, come to an end. So I really do thank you for taking the time today to speak with us.
Thank you so much,
Sol, and look forward to speaking to you again in the future.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you. Bye-bye.